Greetings, students. I hope you are well. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood where I'm at. I'm hoping you're finding some time to get outside and take a walk. Just go around the block, go into the neighborhood near your apartment complex or something. Just get outside, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the sunshine. It's just a good way to take a break and experience something new, get a little vitamin D from the sun. So if you get a chance, go for a walk, enjoy the sun. Today, we're going to be working on lesson E on page 104 and 105. So if you haven't gotten there yet, go ahead and get to page 104, 105. And as you know, this is our writing exercise. After today, maybe at the end of the assignment, after today's lesson, maybe you can complete the writing assignment and text me a picture of your assignment or something of the like. But we'll get there in a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you're to page 104 by now. Let's look at the questions at the top of the page. First question is, what is a cover letter? Anyone? A cover letter is a letter so when you apply for a job, many jobs in America, we send in a resume that is a summary of our education and work experience. And then on top of that, we add a cover letter, which is a short letter that tells a little more information about yourself. It's personal, and you include it for the employer so they can get to know you a little bit more and just tell them more about why you want the position in your own words and what some of your experiences. So we're going to learn more about cover letters today. The second part of that question is, what information does a cover letter include? Any guesses? Excellent. Well, I have a list of 5 things that cover letters include most often. Number 1, the sender's address. Number 2, the address of the person whom you are writing. Number 3, the greeting. Number 4, the body of the letter. And number 5, the closing. So, most cover letters have these 5 parts. And to be honest, I've not included this number 1. Usually at the top of my cover letters, I start with this, the address of the person I am sending the letter to. These are the 5 parts. So the address of the sender, so the person who's writing the letter will include their address, and then the address of the person the letter is being sent to. The greeting, so like dear, or to whom it concerns, dear sir, dear madam. Then the body of the letter, so the main part of the letter, and then the closing. You might be wondering, well, teacher, how do all these go together? Well, that's why we're here today, is to learn how to put all this together. And we're specifically going to be looking at number 4, the body of the letter, and we're going to talk more about what actually goes into the body of a cover letter. Good. All right. Number 2, think to yourself, have you ever written a cover letter? I can answer that. I have. I've written many. What about number 3? Today, most people write email cover letters. Why do you think this is true? Giving you a second to answer for yourself. I think, and I think my experience has been that many companies, many are posting jobs on the internet, online, and so they are no longer receiving a, a hard copy, what we call a hard copy, a physical resume, an actual piece of paper. Um, so the first point of contact, the first time you reach out to a potential job, you are usually using the internet, and so you are using digital and using an email to contact them. And so that's why we're not usually we're not writing physical letters anymore, we're using email. And so today we're going to be looking at how do you make an email cover letter. Okay, now that we've talked a little bit about your experience, maybe my experience, what is a cover letter, and your experience, my experience with a cover letter, I want you to take a few minutes and read the cover letter, email example cover letter that is on your book, in your book on page 104. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that. You can pause the video, and after you finish, come back and read. Okay, go ahead and pause it, and we'll start back in a minute. Did you pause? I'm watching you. Please pause and read. Okay, good. Now that you've read, let's look at the actual, the picture of the resume. So if you look in your books on page 104, you see what looks like an email screen on the internet, or on the internet, on your phone, maybe on a computer. You have the email address of the person who you're writing to, and then you have, excuse me, the first line is your email address, and then the 2 is who you're writing to. The subject is what is this email about? And in this case, the person is being very specific and saying, the subject is teacher's assistant position. So when the person receives the email, they know, oh, I know what to do with this email. It's about the position for teacher's assistant. And then you see what looks like a paper clip. That means there's an attachment, and that what has been attached is the resume. So whenever you send in a cover letter, you always need to attach your resume, because the two go hand in hand. They want to see what your experience is, and so you include the resume. So now I'll read the paragraph. We'll talk about if there's any words I see that maybe I need to explain more, and then I'll read it, and then I'll maybe explain some of those words, and then we'll go over the questions on the next page. So let us begin. Dear Miss Stevens, I read your advertisement online for a position as a teacher's assistant. I am very interested in this position and have attached my resume. I have been working as a teacher's assistant at Hilltop Elementary School for 3 years. In this job, I have taught reading and math to students in small groups. I have also tutored individual students who were having problems with the lessons. I am very interested in child development, and I love working with children. I get along very well with my coworkers, and I am also skilled at dealing with parents. I am planning to move to a new home in your district. I hope you will call me to schedule an interview. My phone number is 773-555-2673. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Esther Yitbarak. Okay, so maybe a couple words. Tutored. A tutor is someone who is not the main teacher. It is someone who outside of school, outside of class, comes and helps you study and helps you to learn on a one-on-one, in a one-on-one way. So if we were all still physically in class together, I am the teacher, I am teaching all of you at once, right? But say one of you needs extra help, and so you want to get together outside of class to work one-on-one for me to explain more and maybe give more help, more examples. That would be an example where I am tutoring you. You are getting tutored, right? Because it's this one-on-one thing where you're getting extra help and you're trying to learn. Often students who are maybe having a hard time learning might get a tutor to help them catch up, or if a student wants to get ahead, they will hire a tutor so that they can learn more than what is being taught in class. Child development. Child development is the way that a child learns and grows, and thinking about if my child is 5, these qualities, these characteristics, this is what I should expect from them in their learning behaviors. Or so learning, this is what I should expect from their behaviors, what they should be able to learn, what they should be able to physically do. And so what a 5-year-old can do is going to be different from what a 7-year-old can do. And what a 5-year-old can learn is going to be different from what a 7-year-old can learn. And so child development studies what is average, what is normal for each child at each age. And then there's this whole idea, school of thought, that helps teachers know what to expect from children, how to best teach them. That's the idea of child development. Good. Let's turn to page 105 and look at the questions at the top of page 105. So, let me erase my board. Let's look at the questions at the top of page 105. Number 1, who wrote the cover letter? Well, let's look. If you look at the very bottom, you can look in 2 different places. You can see the from in the email line, where it says Esther Yitbarak, or at the bottom of the letter. Usually when you write a letter, the person signs it, and so the sincerely. So that would be Esther Yitbarak. Good. Right. Question number 2. Who did she write it to? Well, again, 2 different places you can look. In the letter itself, it says, Dear Miss Stevens. So we know her last name is Stevens, and if we look in that email line of 2, we know that it is Lynn Stevens. For question number 3, what position is she applying for? If you look in the first paragraph, it is the position of teacher's assistant. So, what is a teacher assistant? They are not the main teacher. They do not come up with the lesson for today, but they help the teacher teach that lesson, help with discipline control, or if someone needs to go to the bathroom, they'll take the child to the bathroom or something like that. That's the job of a teacher assistant. So, number 4, where did she hear about the job? Again, in the first paragraph, online advertisement. So it's an online ad. And then number 5, how much experience does she have? If we look in the second paragraph, it says she has worked for 3 years. So she has 3 years of experience. And then question number 6. What are some of her skills? So she has a variety of skills. She has taught reading and math. She has also tutored. Those having problems. And she works well with coworkers. So works well with others and skilled at dealing with parents. Okay, some birds are in the bush next to me, making some distracting noises. But here we go. Here are the answers to the 6 questions. Okay, so now you should be able to go write a cover letter, right? Probably not. Let's talk some more about how to actually put some ideas together. Let's talk about the structure of the cover letter. Let's look at the 3 paragraphs. Which is the longest paragraph? Paragraph number 2, right? It has the most detail, it tells the most information. So there's 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph is very short, and it has just a little bit of information. It tells where the applicant, the writer, Esther, in this case Esther Yitbark, where she learned about the open position. It tells what the position is, and it expresses or tells of her interest, very interested, and that she has attached her resume. So the first paragraph has about 4 pieces of information: where she learned about the position, what the position is, her excitement about it, and then that she's attached a resume. Paragraph 2 goes on to describe the experience of the applicant, or in this case, Esther Yitbark. So we see some of her past work experience, and then also in some of the tasks or jobs she's done in that position, and then also some of the other skills that she has beyond her experience. And then in the 3rd paragraph is a plan of action. So a plan of action is, okay, I'm interested, this is who I am, and this is how we're going to communicate. I want to talk to you, I want to schedule an appointment, right? And here's my contact phone information. Okay. I'll come back to that thought. So if you look at the top of page 105 in the red box, you'll see a summary of what I just explained. It says, in the body of a cover letter include the first point, the title of the job, you are applying for. Number 2, how you found out about the job, and then information about your skills and experience. Okay. 3 major parts. if you look at the paragraph itself, it gives you the cover letter itself. It gives you more information about how to build these ideas out more. A couple of notes, starting with the last paragraph. It says, I hope you will call me to schedule an interview. I do not like this sentence. And it's the idea of hope. General hope is a good idea. We want to be hopeful. But in a resume and in a cover letter, you want to use strong words, not wishful words or maybe words. Like maybe, maybe words are not yes/no words. They are maybe so, maybe not. So hope is, I hope I get it, but maybe I will, maybe I won't, right? And so hope is like, I wish you will call me, or I hope you will call me. That it just does not have this strong idea of action for a cover letter or a resume. And so instead of hope, instead of that sentence, maybe in a time where we're going through a lot, I don't want to be flippant with the word hope, but in this case, hope not good. What we want to say maybe is, I plan to follow up in X days. I look forward to speaking with you soon. So each of these are more action words. They show that you are proactive, right? Think about that. Active is your root word, so action, active, you're doing stuff. So if something is proactive, you're for action, right? So you want to be proactive in what you're doing. And so either I look forward to speaking with you soon assumes maybe that it is putting out that you what you are saying about yourself is, I am a qualified, I am a good candidate, applicant for this position, and you should hire me, you should talk to me, and that you are going to call me, right? I plan to follow up also shows that I really care about this position, and I'm going to, if possible, depending on the job, some jobs there's not a way to follow up, but it's a way of saying, okay, I'm giving you my resume and I'm going to follow up. I'm going to call you or email you to make sure you got it and see, just to make another point of contact with that person, right? So rather than say, I hope, here are two alternatives to that. Good. Let's look at paragraph 2 a little. So, I want you to think back to our last paragraph and our last reading assignment, and we talked about hard skills, and we talked about soft skills. So in our cover letter, we want to include both. We want to show how the ways that the experience that we've done, and we also want to show some things that maybe everybody can do. But then we also want to show things that make us special or unique, in ways that maybe set us apart from everyone else. So, hard skills. What are Esther Yabarek's hard skills? So, she's worked as, I'm going to put TA for 3 years. TA is abbreviation for teacher's assistant. She has this. This is a hard skill. Right? You can measure this. She's worked as a TA for 3 years. She's taught reading and math, and she has tutored, right? These are some hard skills that she's included in her cover letter. As far as her soft skills, if we look at the second half of the paragraph, the end of the paragraph, she has an interest in child development. She gets along co-workers, and she's skilled at dealing with parents. You can read my handwriting, but you can always look back in the book. This is just to give you an idea to see how we broke those two things apart, right? If you think back to the article we read in Lesson D, these skills are good. These skills are valuable, but these are the most valuable, right? These are what set one person apart from another. So it's good to have hard skills to give a good idea of our hard skills, but it's even better to show how some of our soft skills, because these are hard to teach, these are hard to measure, but these are what maybe sets person A apart from person B. This might be what makes person A better than person B. Okay? So when we're writing a cover letter, we want to include both. And we definitely want to include some soft skills, because that's what's going to make us a little different from our other people. One other thing about a cover letter, as we have now read it and looked at the parts of it, it's important to remember a cover letter is not all your experience. It is not all of your soft skills or hard skills, right? It is just a short summary, a brief summary that introduces you to the employer so that they can have a quick snapshot, a quick small picture of who you are. Then they can say, oh, I want to really look at this resume, or maybe not look at this resume, right? So cover letter does not have everything, just a little bit to give a good picture. And so when you're thinking about hard skills and soft skills, what you want to communicate to the person is, what experience do I have that will match or be good for the position that you're applying. So if you're applying for a teacher's assistant, you're maybe not going to include your experience working at McDonald's, unless maybe you are working with customers and having to deal with hard customers. Then you're showing some good soft skills, right? But you want to find the positions, your experience, that best match, best relate to the position that you're applying for. Some of you come from countries where they use CVs, which are curriculum vitae, which I think is Latin, and generally, at least in the Western world, which is the Western half in the Western Hemisphere, Europe and the US, we use resumes to apply for jobs. And resumes tend to be shorter and more about work experience, right? We use, in America, we use a CV or curriculum vitae for academics, for people who want to be a professor or a teacher or professional researcher or doctor, right? So it is more detailed and has more about their experience, and maybe some of the papers they have written and things like that. So in America, at least, CV and resume are different. CV is more used in academics for teachers, professors, doctors, researchers, and things like that. And resumes are more common and what most people use to apply for jobs. Good. And so, what I would like you to do is plan a cover letter. What do we want to do? I'm going to give you a job to apply for. Should have thought of this before, but we're going to say a preschool teacher. So, what I want you to do is to plan a cover letter for the position of preschool teacher, and then write a sample, try to write a cover letter. You can make up the details. You don't have to, you can write one that is true about you, or you can make up the details. But try to write one that is about for the position of preschool teacher. I also would like you to go online, type in cover letter, and I want you to look at some examples of cover letters, and maybe take a screenshot of a bad example and a good example that you found based upon what we have talked about today, and you can send those to me. So I want you to practice writing a cover letter. So plan a cover letter for a preschool teacher position, then write the cover letter. And then I also want you to go online and look for examples of cover letters, maybe one good one and one bad one, and then text those to me. That's it for today. I hope you're well. Get outside again. Get outside, enjoy some sunshine, and we'll come back and we'll talk some more about English in the future. Well, not the future case, but we'll talk more about the future. We'll talk more about English the next time we get together. All right, all that to say, hope you're well, blessings, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.